Krishna Krishna Krishna. Bhagavad Gita Adhyaya 3 Shloka 31. Ye me matamidam nityam anutishtanti manavaha Shraddhavanto na suyantaha. Muchyante tepi karmabhihi. Bhagavan elaborated on the need, the importance of performing the vihita karma, the karmas that are enjoined by the Shastra. And he also explained the proper attitude of a karma yogi. With what attitude a karma yogi should perform the karma. To perform the right action, to perform the right karma with the right attitude, is not easy, because most often we find that people lack in Shraddha. What is the use of doing it? Will I get anything tangible? Many people do not see any immediate tangible benefit out of performing their duties. Therefore, at one point or another, they lose Shraddha and they give up. Therefore, Bhagavan says, to find the proper result in due course of time, one should have Shraddha. One should not lose Shraddha. Also, one should not find fault. There is something called asuya. Asuya means fault finding. Finding fault in the very concept of karma yoga. Finding fault in the teaching of the Shastra, finding fault in the teaching of Bhagavan. When we find fault, we lose Shraddha. Shraddha, lack of Shraddha and finding fault go hand in hand. If we don't have enough Shraddha, we start finding fault. Even the reverse is true. If we start finding fault, we lose Shraddha. This person is doing Karma Yoga with some Shraddha. Then one of his friends says, all these are not true. When he speaks to his friend who doesn't have Shraddha, he starts finding fault. This is unscientific. Most often we come across Nastikas. Who is a Nastika? The traditional definition of a Nastika: a person who does not accept the Veda Pramana. If he doesn't accept the Vedas as Pramana, he will not accept even Bhagawad Gita as Pramana, because Bhagavad Gita is based on Vedas. He is a Nastika. Most often we come across Nastikas and they will start criticizing. And when we constantly hear someone who criticizes, who finds fault, then even our mind starts working in the same way. That is why one should keep away from such talks where one exposes where one exposes oneself to the criticism of the Shastra, criticism of Dharma. So when we start finding fault, we lose Shraddha. And when Shraddha is lost, everything is lost. It is true in the spiritual pursuit. Generally, we say when character is lost, everything is lost. In the spiritual pursuit, when Shraddha is lost, everything is lost. When Shraddha is lost, even character might get lost. So Shraddha is the basis of even character. And if one performs the Karma Yoga with the Shraddha, without finding fault, he may not see any immediate, quick, tangible benefit. It will take time. It might take years together. One should have a lot of patience. Karma Yoga is not possible without patience. If one pursues Karma Yoga for a long time. In due course of time, he becomes a jnani, and then he is free from karma. He is free from the need to do karma. Therefore, ye janaha, the people, the mubukshus, shraddhavantaha, with the shraddha, with the faith, with the trust, anasuyantaha, without finding fault, me idam matam, this vision of mine, this teaching of Paramatma, nityam anutishtanti, they perform regularly. They hold on to Karma Yoga, perform Karma Yoga regularly without fail. Te api, even they, the Manavaha, they are human beings. Karma Yoga is meant for human beings. Karma bhihi muchyante, they become free from karma. Shloka 32. Ye tve tadabhyasuyantaha na anutishtanti me matam sarvajnana vimudhastan viddhi nashtana chetasaha. So, this is a counter example. In the teaching, we show both sides. It is like an advertisement. How do you advertise any product? For example, a washing powder. There is one washing powder, Surf Excel. How do you advertise Surf Excel? People working in the advertisement industry, they know. They have to show one person using Surf Excel and another person using some other washing powder. If he uses Surf Excel, it becomes white, shining bright. And if it is some other washing powder, it is not so white. It is dirty, even after washing. That is what you see in Surf Excel advertisement. And the same thing is seen in Ariel advertisement also. Ariel is another washing powder. So in Surf Excel advertisement, if he uses Surf Excel, it becomes white. Oh. Lost connection. lost connection. What happened? There is no internet. Hotspot. Let me try hotspot. No, it's gone. No connection. Sorry, I lost internet connection. My broadband is not working. Now I am using my mobile network. So I don't know how far it is efficient. So in an advertisement, they show the usage of particular product, what result it yields, and if you don't use the particular product, what is the loss? Even that has to be shown. Likewise, Bhagavan shows the counter example. If one does not perform Karma Yoga, what does he lose? He does not progress in the pursuit of moksha. Ye tu, on the other hand, unlike a person performing Karma Yoga, ye manavaha, some human beings, they don't perform Karma Yoga. Why they don't perform Karma Yoga? Because they find fault. They find fault in Bhagavan's teaching. Abhyasuyantaha. They find faults. And therefore they don't get Shraddha. Therefore, me matam na anutishtanti. They do not practice Bhagavan's teaching. And Bhagavan says, they are deluded. They remain in delusion as far as the absolute truth is concerned. They don't progress towards self-knowledge. They don't progress towards the knowledge of truth. Sarvajnana vimudhantan. They are sarvajnana vimudhaha. Sarva is Brahman. Sarvam khalvidam Brahma. The truth of everything. The reality behind everything is Brahman. And the knowledge of Brahman is the knowledge of everything. Therefore, Brahmajnana is called Sarvajnana. They are vimudhaha, deluded in terms of sarvajnana, deluded in terms of brahmajnana. Therefore, nashtan, they are lost. Lost in terms of spirituality. Achetasaha, why they are lost? Because they are achetasaha, avivekinaha, they lack in viveka. Therefore, they are lost. Shloka 33. Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha prakritirjnanavanapi prakritim yanti bhutani nigrahah kiಂ karishyati. So, this shloka as well as the following shloka is about the fundamentals of karma yoga. As we study in Bhagawad Gita, karma yoga involves performance of swadharma. We hear the word swadharma in Bhagavad Gita. When we talk about swadharma, swadharma means one's own dharma. The actions that one is supposed to perform. One's own duties. What one should perform is his swadharma. And swadharma varies from person to person, from individual to individual. Swadharma varies. Your swadharma is not my swadharma. My swadharma is not your swadharma. In fact, what is your swadharma might be paradharma for me. For example, the swadharma of a grihastha, a householder, is to earn money and feed his family, take care of his family. It is the swadharma of a grihastha. Whereas the swadharma of a sannyasi is to live on bhiksha and devote his time to contemplation, to the study of Vedanta, to sadhana, etc. Therefore, the swadharma of a grihastha is different from the swadharma of a sannyasi. If a grihastha does doing, if a grihastha starts doing a sannyasi swadharma, he stops taking care of his family, he stops earning his bread, and he just sit quiet in his room meditating all the time, then he is not performing his swadharma. Then his wife asks him, why don't you go out and work? Then he says, the Swami does this. The Swami meditates all day. So even I will meditate all day like the Swami. The Swami is a sannyasi and he is entitled to do so. It is his swadharma. Whereas the swadharma of a grihastha is different. If a grihastha performs a sannyasi's dharma, then it is paradharma for a grihastha. And later on, Bhagavan is going to say that paradharma is adharma, as good as adharma. Therefore, we have the idea of swadharma. And karma yoga is based on the idea of swadharma. One should know what one's swadharma is. And the swadharma, to a great extent, the swadharma is determined by what we call swabhava. There is something called swabhava. Swabhava means one's temperament, one's inclination, as well as one's abilities. One's temperaments as well as abilities determine his or her swabhava. For example, let us take a woman. A woman's swabhava, Stri swabhava. If you look at a woman in general, she has the inclination, the temperament to take care of children, to take care of the family, to nourish the children, cook and feed the children. Motherhood, it is the swabhava of a woman. She has that kind of inclination also, and she has that kind of ability also. A man cannot do it to a great extent what a woman does. Bringing up the children, feeding the children, nourishing the children. So that is the swabhava of a woman. Therefore, it is a woman's swadharma to take care of the children, to bring up the children, to nourish the children. It is a woman's swadharma according to her swabhava. A mother's swadharma Likewise, there is a father's swadharma. What a father can do to the children, it is his swadharma. So, everybody has his own swabhava. Our temperaments, our aptitudes, our abilities, they determine our swabhava. They are collectively called swabhava. And swabhava determines our swadharma. With our inclinations, with our aptitude, with our abilities, what we can contribute to the society. That determines our swadharma. Therefore, swabhava determines swadharma. So everybody has a different swabhava. The aptitudes differ. The abilities differ. The inclinations differ from person to person. And based on his inclinations, based on his abilities, in what way he can contribute to the society. It is his swadharma. Contributing to the society based on our inclinations and abilities is our swadharma. Now one might ask, why we cannot change our swabhava? For example, I have a particular type of personality, and based on my personality, I have a particular type of interests and particular type of abilities. Now one might ask, why you cannot change it? Bhagavan says, it cannot be changed. It cannot be changed because that is what you are born with. It is a result of your previous karmas. What we have done in our past has determined our interests, our tastes, our abilities. Somebody is able to study the Shastra properly and teach the Shastra. It is one kind of swabhava. He has the interest in studying and teaching the Shastra, and he is also able to do it. Most often our abilities and interests coincide. That is somebody's interest and ability. It is his swabhava. And based on his swabhava, he is given certain swadharma. You teach dharma to the society. You teach Shastra to the society. And such a person is called a Brahmana. So Swabhava determines the Varna. The Varnas are decided by Swabhava. And somebody else is able to fight for justice. He is able to rule, govern. He has valor. He has courage. It is his swabhava. And he is expected to do his swadharma in the form of ruling the country, protecting the country, protecting the society, and he is called Kshatriya. Whereas someone else is good in business, in one or another type of business, he is able to generate money, and he has his swadharma. He is called Vaishya. Krishi Gauraksha Vanijyam Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam, Bhagavan will say later on. And then there are other people who can do various other types of works. They can serve in various other capacities. And they are called Shudra. Shudra is another Varna. So these are four Varnas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. It is a rather broad classification. This is a broad classification. Within that there are so many varieties. If you look at the Indian society, you will see there are so many subgroups among these four. Somebody is Patel, so somebody is this, somebody is that. So many subgroups are. So everything is originally based on their aptitude, their swabhava. And then there is, so these are four varnas. And then there are four ashramas: Brahmacharya, Garhasthya, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. Four varnas and four ashramas. And the dharma, the swadharma is based on the four varnas and four ashramas. So, the swadharma is based on swabhava to a great extent rather. Even though it is not totally based on swabhava, to a great extent it is based on swabhava. And the swabhava is also called prakriti sometimes. Prakriti, one's nature. What is my nature? It is my swabhava. Now one might as well ask, can't we change the swabhava? Why not make everyone equal in swabhava? This is a communist argument. Communism. Let everyone have the same swabhava. One size fit all. It is not possible. Because our swabhava is given because of our previous karmas, what we have done in the previous janmas. It determines our swabhava. What I am today is a result of my many past janmas. What I have done, what I have learnt, what I have practiced in many past janmas has determined what I am today. And that is my swabhava. It cannot be changed all of a sudden. And it need not be changed also. It need not be changed also. Because the swabhava that we have, it is like an energy, like a potential. Everybody is born with certain types of abilities. The swabhava determines our abilities as well as our willpower to do certain actions. Even they are determined by our swabhava. The will and abilities are determined by the swabhava. Therefore, Bhagavan doesn't say the swabhava has to be changed. In fact, the swabhava cannot be changed. And it cannot be suppressed also. One cannot suppress the swabhava and one cannot change the swabhava. For example, let me give a woman as an example. It is applicable to everyone in various ways. Since I see many women in front of me, let me give a woman as an example. It is very easily understandable. A woman wants to be a mother to a child. I want to be a mother to a child. I want to bring up a child. This swabhava, this is swabhava of a woman. Because it is natural to a woman to feel so. And she gets a child also. But then, if she tries to suppress her swabhava, no, I don't want to take care of my child. If she tries to suppress it, it is not going to be possible. Because her swabhava will express itself through. She wants her swabhava to be expressed in the form of nourishing her child. That is why if she does not have her own child, she will find some other child. Or if there is no child around, she will take care of a pet. and show her motherly affection, her motherly love, etc. So the swabhava cannot be suppressed and the swabhava cannot be altered also. And Bhagavan says it need not be altered as well. In fact, Karma Yoga does not ask you to alter your swabhava. Then what does Karma Yoga do? Karma Yoga is a technique of channelizing your swabhava in the right direction. Our swabhava can be channelized in a wrong direction and it can be channelized in the right direction also. For example, let us take the swabhava of a kshatriya. A kshatriya swabhava is to be brave, and he can express his bravery in the form of fighting, challenging somebody to fight. Now, he can use his swabhava in two ways. With the same bravery, with the same ability to fight, he can become a terrorist and fight against the interest of the nation, against the interest of the society. It is one way of employing his swabhava, one way of channelizing his swabhava. And he can channelize in another way, in a proper way, where he joins the army and fights for the interest of his nation, fights for a good cause. It is another way of channelizing. Bhagavan says, channelize your swabhava in the right direction. So Karma Yoga is all about giving a right direction to our swabhava. Channelize your abilities and your temperament in such a way that it is useful to the society, so that you become a contributor to the society. Then it is Karma Yoga. But most often, we are controlled by our likes and dislikes. Our likes and dislikes determine in which direction we channelize our abilities. The compulsive likes and dislikes. Ragadvesha. Bhagavan says, do not yield to Ragadvesha. Do not allow the Ragadvesha to guide your swabhava. Instead, channelize your swabhava in the direction of what is right. That is your swadharma. So, in Shloka 33, Bhagavan says, One cannot change the swabhava because it is given, and it need not be changed also. Shloka 33. Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha prakriterjnanavanapi prakritim yanti bhutani nigrahah kim karishyati. Jnanavan api, even a jnanavan, referring to a viveki, a person who has viveka, what is right and what is wrong, what should be done, what should not be done. He knows the dharma. Even such a person works in accordance with his swabhava. Swasyaha prakritehe sadrisham cheshtate. Swasyaha prakritehe. One's own prakriti, one's own swabhava. Sadrisham, in accordance with that, cheshtate, he acts. Even a viveki acts in accordance with his swabhava, because he cannot forego his swabhava. He has to work according to his own temperament, according to his own. Therefore, bhutani prakritim yanti. Bhutani, all beings, prakritim, swabhava, yanti, they follow their swabhava. Everybody works according to their own swabhava. We are made in a particular way. Our mind and our senses, everything is devised in a particular way, and that is our swabhava. Like if you operate an electronic gadget or an electrical device, it will work only in a particular way. For example, the fan. You put electricity into the fan. The electric supply is provided to the fan. What will the fan do? It will only rotate. The fan can only rotate with the electricity. It cannot move in any other direction. It has only one way of movement. Because fan is devised in such a way, it is its swabhava. Likewise, every other electric gadget, it is devised in a particular way and it functions in a particular way. And the same thing is true to a great extent to human beings also, to all the beings also. We have our swabhava, our tendencies, our abilities, and we work according to it. Nigraha kim karishyati. What does nigraha do? Nigraha means a suppression of the swabhava or altering the swabhava. Kim karishyati, what will it do? Means it does not serve any purpose. It is not possible also, and it is not suggestible also. Then what should one do? Where should one act? Our action is not oriented towards changing our swabhava. Instead, it is oriented towards channelizing our swabhava in the right direction. We should not act being under the spell of ragadvesha. Most often our swabhava is guided by ragadvesha. Bhagavan says, do not get guided by your ragadvesha. Instead, channelize your swabhava in the direction of your swadharma. We will see in the next session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.